Just a quick idea about judging individual interactions. That's kind of niche. Let's just say, trying to think of a simple way to say this. Stressing on how you did socially. Like, we have our interactions, and then after we replay them in our head over and over. What is this thing I said? I paused weird in this section. I could have said something better here. I said something slightly not inappropriate in like a vulgar way, but like not fit for the appropriate response. You know, like someone says, "Hey, how are you?" And then you just say, "Hey, how are you?" back. Small things like that where you just think, "Oh man, I just went on autopilot and didn't really say the right thing." And that's the thing too, is like saying the right thing. Like, all this shit is so unimportant. And it's so hard for you to prove it to yourself, even if, you know, you might know it practically or logically. Practically isn't the best word. See, even right there, it's just like, sometimes you just say things that like sound right but don't even make that much sense. But I thought of this quote from the YouTube channel Social Animal, and he talked about how the key to being social is just asking if you have expressed yourself. And if you have, then good. That's a plus. You don't have to be so stressed about individual interactions and saying the right thing. Just go into every interaction wanting to express yourself, because he treated it like a pipe that gets stopped up. And he just said that every time we don't express ourselves, we're just becoming clogged, and so we wonder why we can't say the right thing. It's because we have this huge filter and we can't say any right thing because nothing we say is right to us, because we've narrowed it down to these canned responses, these stupid small talk topics that you don't connect with on a spiritual level. And so it's no wonder you have nothing to talk about, because you don't feel viscerally about anything that you talk about. When someone shares an interest with you, you could fucking talk about that for hours and not become tired. That's the thing too, is like a conversation like that is revitalizing, is uplifting. Small talk, fake conversations are draining. The shit that makes your social battery die. But when talks about her liking of Marvel shows, or whatever else, I can't think of any other topics, you feel this energy that you have connected with another human via Bluetooth. And I kind of thought of an offshoot of Social Animal's philosophy. I talked to this, I'm not even going to get into whole replay of what happened. But I had a decent conversation with a cashier. And it was great, but then, at the end, I just kind of, for some reason, got a little stale. I was just kind of spaced out and, not saying the, most charismatic thing. And then I started replaying it in my head on the walk out and then thinking of, my performance. And I thought, not every interaction has to be this fucking performance. It doesn't have to be something that you rate. Okay, was this good or bad? How was my performance at this social interaction? What could I have done better? It's did you connect with someone? I did. I connected with someone. It felt good because we're not just exchanging cordialities, if that's a fucking word. We weren't just essentially doing this rehearsed, the rehearsed pleasantries that every person has to memorize. Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? Good, thanks. Order for Justin? Yep. Total's $26.68. Got it. Would you like a receipt? No, thanks. Have a good day. You too. No, we connected, and that's it. That's all it has to be. There doesn't have to be, what could I have said better, blah, blah, blah. If it's a TED Talk, sure. If for some reason you need to be analyzing, then sure. Even if you're talking to a fucking girl, the more you analyze it, the more autistic and rigid you will be the next time, because then you just have these rehearsed bullshit things. Sure, you can have the equivalent of bullet points that you put on a cue card for a presentation. You can't just read from the slide. You can have, bullet points of whatever, the Ford, I think it's the Ford method. It's Finterests, I don't know what F is, occupation, retard, and then dreams, or something like that. Sure, you got that. And then maybe you autistically kind of go down the line of those if you really don't know how to establish the flow of a conversation. But there's no positive to having these fucking... Where'd you get that?
Get what?
Your smile. Okay, cool. You got your Instagram clip. You got your 15-second Instagram clip that works if your name is Ricardo and you're 6'2" and you're Spanish. But you connect with someone when you say something honest and you connect with something you have in common, shit like that. I'm sorry, but unless the line is so fucking balls breaking that the girl just immediately puts aside how unattractive you might be, then otherwise, you gotta just be a fucking human and connect with another human. Hooking up is not conducive, or it does not result from that. And so there's just no utility to rating and overanalyzing the interactions you have with people. Because it's a paradox. The more you analyze and the more you think you're planning for the next time to be more charismatic, the more you become rigid. The more you are not human, the more you become a can of openers. A rehearsed robot trying to say the perfect thing, a chat GPT of conversation. When really, the way you succeed the most is by connecting the most with people. And the way you connect most with people is by shedding all of the planning and just going with the flow of connecting with another human being. And so it's not an easy thing to do, but try to catch yourself when you're rating, analyzing the conversations, the interactions you have. And just ask yourself the simpler question, did I connect with another person? If you did, then good. If you didn't, then that's okay. You don't need to connect on a deep level with every passerby that goes by. And that taps into the whole shame piece of thinking, I let this girl walk past me and I didn't say anything. I didn't connect with this cashier and I saw he was probably having a bad day and I just went about my day. You don't need to get down on yourself about that either. Just let go of it all, man, and just connect with people. That's it.